Very good afternoon and welcome to the final session of the team competition at the World Equestrian Games in the Para-Dressage. The Grade 1 classification is the final stage of what has been an absorbing day and a half of competition already. There's still many a battle to be sorted out, but the standings after the Grade 3 this morning, Netherlands will lift the gold with their score of 223.597, just 0.64 ahead of Great Britain, who for the first time have not come away with a team gold at a major championship and a World Equestrian Games, losing out by 0.64. What a narrow margin, but there is a big battle for bronze going to be decided in the next couple of hours, because Denmark and Germany look to be the two countries battling for that third spot and a ticket to Tokyo. There are the other countries lined up in the order they currently stand. On a very warm afternoon it is here in the Tryon Stadium as we settle down for this Grade 1 session. There is the list of the entries, including Sarah Morganti, the individual gold medal. She was quite stunning, a huge smile on her face. Elke Philip, and also from Denmark is Lina Madsen. Those are the two really significant ones, but also we have 13 going forward. And I'm delighted to say, joining me in the cool of our commentary position, I think I know he's used to hot weather, but he's been competing, and delighted to say, as we look at some of the Great Britain supporters on the side settling down for this final afternoon. As I say, a very warm afternoon it is too. I imagine we're in the high 80s, maybe even touching the 90s in terms of temperature here this afternoon. But delighted to say Rodolfo Riscala, the individual silver medalist, is alongside me. Rodolfo, very good afternoon. What a competition this has been. What a week it has been for para-dressage sport.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I mean, that's been amazing being here, and the competition, it's been super because I'm so excited. Everything changed, and now Netherlands got gold, and now we want to see what's happened next for the bronze.
Well, are you surprised to see them winning gold, or did you think their team looked slightly better than the British teams in terms of the potential, given the way the individual competition had gone?
I think, of course, Great Britain is the power here, is the power in the house, but Netherlands made such a good job. All four riders, they made such a good test, so I think that's why they also got more gold.
And that is an indication where now the sport is headed. You look at even Denmark and Germany and Belgium, you've got to have four riders capable of producing nearly, well, scores in the 70s, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, we knew it already when we came that you need to have a team with at least 3 riders over 73 to get a medal. Otherwise, you cannot get a medal.
Well, you got a medal. How proud are you with your silver medal? Because it was obviously tough competition, but how pleased were you?
I'm so happy. We are over the moon, and we're really, really happy about it.
Well, and obviously you've got 2 of your team members going here today. What's the feeling in the camp? I mean, it's all part of the learning process, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be here as a team also, because we can see each other and support each other. So that's, I mean, that's the spirit of the sport also.
Well, it is the huge spirit of the sport, the camaraderie amongst all the riders from all nations is what sets para-dressage apart. But we're off and running, though, with the final Hong Kong rider coming in. And remember, this is the Grade 1 for the most disabled of the athletes, and the way they do the classification, 1 through till 5. That's how they work it. But now coming in from Hong Kong, the first of the riders, and it is Puting Natasha Baker coming in, aged just 22 years of age, coming in to begin her test, and everything is done at the walk. But Rodolfo, the precision required, given the severity of many of these athletes' disability, it does require skill of the highest order.
Yeah, I mean, what they do here is so amazing, because they can really be together with the horse, and we see that the riding skills for them, it's really nice. So,
well, just to let you know that she scored 62.429, and looking at the test again, it's a slightly different test than the one that was performed on day 2 in the individual, but again, it's just required to respond and do it, and there's a friendly horse in the corner as well.
Yeah.
So with the walk, when you're looking at the walk, what are you trying to achieve here?
Yeah, now what they want to see actually in this grade, it's that the horse still in 4 beats and steady all the time. So and also the precision of the movements and the circles and all this is really important in this grade.
Well, as you can see, it is round about the 6.3 the way she is scoring at the moment from the beginning.
Yeah, the horse, it's quite well. He could have a little bit more activity in the hind legs and push a little bit more, so but to get higher marks, no? But she's quite well in the trajectory, so all the movements are well done. Just the general impression, she could be a little bit more active.
Even at this with the walk, there are still ways to make it a more positive, and it looks more laboured at the moment, just the way that.
Yeah, it looks really calm, but could be a little bit more expressive in the way that pushing a little bit for the horse for himself. Huh? But she's doing quite a good job, really steady. The horse could be a little bit more on the contact and pushing a little bit more.
Well, scoring around about 6.4, 6.63.
Yeah.
One or two some good scores as well for the diagonal of 6.9.
Yeah, to get to the 7, it's really at this point. Really, she could be just a little bit more active, because the horse is really in 4 beats all the time, and he looks quite steady.
I'll tell you what the judges haven't given many this week is 8s. They've been I think we've seen very few 8s. So
yeah.
It might be different tomorrow in the freestyle. We might see 1 or 2 tomorrow.
We hope so.
Yeah, for you personally. I think you've got some 7.9s, I think. Also, you've got some.
I got quite a few 8s and 9s at the canter work and few in the trot. So yeah, we were quite pleased.
Well,
there she was really good. Just the horse was not quite square and not really on the center line, but it was a good preparation, and the horse accepted well.
It is a very hot afternoon here.
Yeah.
Almost feels like, I mean, obviously, I don't know how long you have been here. 10 days, but when did you arrive?
We arrived the 11.
And obviously the battles with Florence, but at the moment the heat
is really hot, and in the afternoons it got much hotter than in the mornings. Yesterday I rode in the afternoon and was really hot.
When are you riding tomorrow?
In the morning.
In the morning. Phew.
Yeah, that's the first one, so get fresh air.
Yeah. Well, again, all around about the 6.4. It's consistent.
He's consistent because he's all the time in 4 beat and relax. So that's really good. Now he's stretching a little bit, so that's good. He goes to the bit, so that's really nice.
And even doing that for the grade 1s is physically very demanding for many of these riders.
Yeah, I mean, there's the time that you change a little bit position, and then when you need to come back, and like they have much less strength than we do. So to do this looks easy, and that's the main point that what we want to see. But we know that for them it's not so that easy to go stretch the horse and come back. So that's she did a great job.
Well, keeping it together, some 7s have just crept into the scores as well.
Yeah.
And coming up
Yeah,
the center line for the halt.
quite good hold. It was a pleasant test, I mean.
Yeah. Well, there she has completed. So a first start, but coming down the centre line. So it looks as if what the main thing is, sometimes you just want to score a better score than you produced on the Tuesday, although in this case Wednesday, just because for the confidence. I know it's a slightly easier test, but you still want to do that, don't you?
Yeah, we always want to do our best, and we know that counts a lot to keep a steady combination the whole competition, so that's really important.
Well, so a pleasing effort to start, and giving a big pat as she comes out of the arena. We'll bring you details of her score. The final Hong Kong rider, they only had a 3-rider team as she is led out of the arena, and has certainly shown a well, and look how happy she is too as she comes out and is led away and awaiting the scores as she leaves the arena. Now coming in shortly will be Sarah Morganti, our gold medalist, is coming in. Is the Italian who couldn't really believe that she'd won gold the other day. She was absolutely surprised and overwhelmed by the fact that she produced this stunning test. I'll just bring you details of the score of our final Hong Kong rider, 65.964. She'll be really pleased with that, and actually see coming in with a very generous 70% there. So that is a really good score for the young Hong Kong rider, and their team result shows them with a score of 188.023. But they're all very young and inexperienced riders, so they'll just be very pleased to have achieved what they have done. Now, this lady has achieved a lot, Sarah Morganti. And Rodolfo, I mean, when she won the Grade 1, there were moments she could not believe that she'd won it. And she's had a few health issues this year. It was a wonderful moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think for her means a lot, because she was winning the gold medal 4 years ago, and then she has a little backset in the Rio that the horse didn't pass the vet check, and then now she's winning again, so it must be an amazing feeling.
Yeah, going all the way to Rio, when you go in the expectations and then that has a setback, I mean, it must be so dispiriting. Yeah. Well, it was dispiriting.
Yeah, I mean, for all riders, when you have those backsets, it's difficult, but she was a strong person and then she came back, so that's the good part, you know.
Well, clearly the standout rider she is for Italy, and obviously when it comes to the freestyle tomorrow, she will be hoping to have more golden success, and it won't be easy because the rival from Laurentian from Singapore will provide stern opposition. But here, Sarah Morganti had what a smile it was that she produced after her test. It was a terrific performance, and let's see what she can do today under the scorching Carolina sun. Coming in with a halt.
Yeah, that was a good hold. Good. Now we can see the difference from the first one. She gets much more activity, and the horse, it's always on the bit, looks relaxed. So that's really good.
This horse is just, well, 13 years of age. Actually, he's a lot of combinations with 8, 9-year-olds. There's even 6-year-olds we've seen in a couple of cases.
Yeah. And I think she has a lot of experience with this horse, with the horse that she won gold medal 4 years ago. So that also helps a lot when you know your horse and you know what's going on. That's really good. She keeps the activity. She keeps all the time the same rhythm. And at the same time, when you look at her, everything looks relaxed and easy. So that's the main point of dressage. Huh?
Whatever grade, well, and whatever facet of dressage, full stop, is making things look easy.
Easy, exactly. for everyone who knows or who doesn't know about dressage or horses must look and say, oh, how easy it is. And this is what we can see now.
The horse just makes it look easy.
Yeah.
And the Italians have a full complement. They've had 2 riders have gone so far. Murillo Vaccaro, 65.303. And then Federica Lunghi. And Francesca Salvade sadly was eliminated. So it is all about Sarah Morganti. What she will definitely score something in the 70s. And she's producing some terrific marks now.
Yeah, now it starts to get in higher marks.
Well into the 70s.
Really good. Yeah. The
lovely looking horse.
Yeah, and looks so well together. Huh? There's a super hard. Really nice. He could be sometimes be a little bit more steady on the contact. We see that he's swimming on the mouth all the time, but he's still really steady and going through the beat. So it's still really good. Everything's well prepared. And this is what she produced there around the test. All the time, same rhythm, going with activity, even when she turns. And we know that for their grade, it's not so easy as we spoke. It's not always easy to keep this the whole time. So that's really nice.
Plenty of good marks coming through. Although
yeah, in the serpentine, because she could get in the serpentine, she could keep in the end a little bit more activity and keep the same rhythm. Then she lost a little bit in the end. That's why the marks came a little bit down. That's really good. Horse is stretching, going through the beat. Could be a little bit more. And now it's better. Horse stays together when she came back with the reins.
She has a very willing partner, doesn't she?
Yeah, we can see that they know each other so well, so that's really good.
Now,
and she's really calm inside. We can see that she prepares everything, so that's really important also.
Coming down the center.
There's a little bit of hesitation around X. And the hold could be a little bit more straight. But it was a quite pleasing test, really nice.
Well, plenty of support from the Italian team there, not holding back in their cheers for Sarah. And what a good test. And she scored 74.750. It's probably around that sort of mark now. Obviously, big day tomorrow as well, going in search of another gold. Italians not part of aiming, obviously, from a team point of view. She is the standout member by a long way, and really reflecting your point, if you can find a couple more good combinations to get the horses to improve, then Italy will be competitive with her around.
Yeah, it's always good to have a strong member in the team who push up everyone, and because like this, the other ones also can be together and
like
try through the.
You set the standard for Brazil now, don't you?
It's good. We made a little bit pressure, and then they come now.
Oh no, Rodolfo's turned up again. Oh, we got to try now. Is that the way it works?
Yeah, but it works.
It works, and it's working. No, but we wait on the score for Sarah Morganti, and.
Yeah, she has good marks for equestrian field, so that's really good. Because actually, in our dressage, they look after rider position and seat, and here is about the equestrian field and skills. Because each grade and each problem that we have, we need to adapt ourselves. So she had a super equestrian field.
And the thing about para-dressage, every rider has something different.
Completely.
To battle. As we look at the score, 73.893. It was a 76 from the judge at B, who was Anna Prain from France, and 76 at H, who was Sarah Leach, the judge from Britain.
We had just a little bit difference about the judge in M, Mark Urban for Belgium.
Well, there's the final score for Italy. Does that put them above France? 199.746, but is their final team score. So Sarah Morganti, and it doesn't, just behind France, who finish on 100, nearly on 200, 199.746, but ahead of Japan and Hong Kong. So that is the way it's looking at the moment, but things will be changing all the time. And now this is a big moment.
The one that we need to see it.
This is one of the big moments.
Yeah.
Riders 3 and 7, one here from Denmark. This is Lina Madsen riding her 16-year-old gelding, one of the Bebop. Bebob rather than Bebop. That's the musical references, but coming in. So I've sort of done some maths. It gets complicated. Currently, if you add all the 3 scores from Denmark, they're on 216, 197. If you added all the German scores currently that have gone, they're on 214.879. But the best German rider is still to come. And Lina, having scored 71, if she scores something similar and Elke scores something similar, they'll both be in around about the 217. So these tests, they have somehow got to really produce something. Both have got to produce outstanding tests.
And I can imagine that both of them, they know that they need to produce something. So it's something also for us riders, being the last one by the team, and know that they need to cope with also this pressure.
Well, that's why, as far as Britain was concerned, Sophie Christensen was so good for Great Britain, and Julie Payne was last year. They were able to produce it, but knowing they didn't know the destination, they had to go out and do it. And it's the same here for Denmark and Germany. Both their riders have to get it right.
Yeah, she has a really pleasant horse. The entrance, the halt was a little bit crooked, so that will cost a little bit points for her. But the horse is really pleasant. I like much the horse. Really well done. 4 beats, she keeps the rhythm. The horse is always in the contact. It's really nice. Really good horse. And in this grade, when they're all the time keeping this activity and same rhythm, and I mean to keep this for 5-10 minutes, even if it's just walk, sometimes it's so hard and takes much training also about the rider and the horse and being together to keep this the whole test. And for the moment, she's doing a great job.
Yeah, the horse probably has to be restrained, but suddenly might think, well, wouldn't mind going to a trot or a...
Yeah, that's why they train, and not all the horses are able to do this. And as a dressage rider, we know that sometimes the walk is the most difficult part, and they had to show the best walk all the time and keep this confidence between them. Eh?
Which bit do you not like doing the walk?
I like doing walk, but I like better doing canter, let us say like this.
I thought you would. And obviously in this test at grade 1, it's all at the walk.
Yeah. There's a nice hold. She could prepare a little bit better when she turned.
But it's also
a really steady and nice hold.
When you see some of the riders with the certain disabilities they have, it's how to communicate physically at that moment to the right signal to respond to when if they do have some physical impairments.
Yeah. That's why I think the magic saying here in Para-Dressage is that all about connection between the horse and the rider, and then that makes us that's the difference. How much more connection and how much more you know your horse, and the rider knows what they are doing, better will be. And we can see this here. The partnership between some horses and riders are more long time together. We see that they know each other, so that's makes so nice here.
Well, the score's around about 7.2, which is in keeping, maybe a little bit higher. So this is throwing down a little challenge to the watching German team.
Yeah.
As they go in search of a bronze medal here.
It's really nice.
You can see how hard she's working too.
She's concentrated, no? It's really nice. But the horse is really nice. Walk is all the time in 4 beats and steady, going to the contact. Sometimes they could have a little bit more precision in the movements and the half turns and things like this. But in general, the horse was really nice.
Well, this is...
Now we see. I should prepare the halt.
Coming down for the halt.
Very nice halt. Straight and really nice.
Lina Munkemetsen, 4.
Looks really pleased with that coming down, and that's a good score. It won't overhaul Sarah Morganti's as far as just where it's going to end up in the final analysis, but overall, from a team perspective, will give them a very good final score. And then I'll have to get my calculator out to then work out what the Germans have to score.
Yeah,
to get.
Now they have even more pressure.
They do, because that was good. That is
It was really good.
Just what, as they say, the doctor ordered for Denmark. And,
and she looks so happy going out. No, it's really nice.
And you can see, look at her reaction. She has given her all to make sure that the team have a huge chance. And of course, they've already had a gold medal and a bronze medal with Stina Kastrup. That was a great moment.
Yeah,
Tell you what, the mascara
really
ran there when she was getting her gold medal. Do you see? I mean, she was in tears, but she was what looked like 2 black eyes at the end of it. One of the, again.
They're so nice, and Stina is such a nice person and such a good rider.
And an amazing rider, and what she goes through. Now let's see the scores coming through. Tell you what, it's a very respectable score of 73.179. So it is 73.179, and the team score is 218.851. 218.851. Obviously, that puts them safely into, well, in the bronze position for the time being, and now it's a question of trying to work out the maths. What do they need to score? At the moment, if all 3 riders for Germany would total, if there's the scores as they stand at the moment, 214.879. But clearly, I would expect Elke to come up with a pretty decent score.
Yeah, she can score high also today. She has a really nice horse, and she's always so steady on the shows. No? So that's a good part for the German team.
Well, I can work it. I think I've worked out how to work it out. It gets very complicated. I basically got.
The sport also is a lot of mathematics.
Oh, it's all maths. Especially
in dressage.
Yeah, well, yes, all trying to add up. I've got my calculator out here, so I'm just coming to the 2188.
And also they have quite. Elke has a good advantage that she goes a little bit later on the start list, so that's also good for the team.
I'm just getting there in a moment. I think I've got this. Well, this is, I reckon Elke has to score over 74.207 to get the bronze.
She can do it. Yeah. I mean, she did already, so...
Well, she scored 73.143 the other day.
Yeah.
So you think if she can get a bit... Well, she's got a percentage point more, a little bit more than a percentage point more, she will get, the bronze. But it's very close.
Yeah, it's very close, very tight. It's like for the gold medal.
But actually, with their final score, if you think from 2-2-3, which is the Dutch score, to 2-1-8, currently sitting in bronze, that's 5 per point. That's nothing.
Yeah, all the time is really close. Huh? Each time there's 3 first ones, 4 teams. Everybody's so close.
Because normally you probably have what has happened. Britain have been quite far in front, and maybe 1 or 2 other reasonably, but the second and third is a little bit further behind. So, but now this shows that there are now 4 very competitive international teams, and that can only be good for, well, not only good for the sport, but it will bring up the standard of the other countries as well.
Exactly.
So the sport is on a huge upward curve.
Yeah, and I mean, this happens in team tests and also in individual tests. We always so close to each other, and that's makes so amazing our sport.
Well, now it's Katja Leinen in the arena, and you can.
Yeah, actually, this combination she did quite well in some internationals. Mannheim, I think she won in Mannheim, and it's also a quite steady combination. There you can see the person in the middle. Because the person who is speaking in the middle, it's to help her because she cannot see. So she's always telling her where she is around the arena, the letters, and where she's going. So this, I must say, I admire a lot people with this disability, because ride when you cannot really see where you're going, and it's much more about feeling, and that's really nice.
And this is where, you know, when you hear the people who, the blind skiers or athletes or whatever who are blind and doing their sport, it leaves you absolutely awestruck.
Yeah.
And Katja Leinen riding Dr. Doolittle, a 15-year-old chestnut gelding.
Also, the horse has a super walk. He could also have a little bit more activity. When you see Lina, her horse, was much more active and pushing a little bit more, so that's probably the mark is going a little bit higher.
Well, for Finland, just a 3-rider team. She is the last of their riders. Legolas and Jana Kivimäki scored 65.848. Pia Reiti scored 64.15 and put them on 129. But so the best of their riders here, but probably into the halt.
This was a good hold. It was a little bit against the bit. We can see that the reins are floating a little bit. The horse needs to be light, but he needs to accept the contact, and we see that he's always steady and accepting the bit. There sometimes he goes a little bit unsteady and a little bit behind, but overall he's in a quite good position. Could be a little bit more active. You can see there it was a little bit unsteady, some paces.
Marks are all in the 7s though, for the main.
Yeah. Looks really relaxed. They look really nice together. That was a good stretching. He could go a little bit more through the beat. Even it's a good activity and good walk, he could be a little bit more steady on the contact. There was a very good when she took back the reins. The horse stays relaxed.
Final center line.
That's really good. And now it comes a little bit against a bit, but the horse was good.
Well, there we have the final finish rider, Katja Kajalainen, and she will be in action in the freestyle tomorrow, having finished 6th in the individual, where she scored 72.0, and maybe around about that sort of mark, maybe a little bit under probably today, not quite the 72, just looking at where the scores have finished, but all the same.
Yeah, I think for her to score a little bit higher, to keep together with the others, when you compare with the other riders, the other ones was a little bit more active and a bit more steady on the contact. But she did a really great job. It was really pleasant to see, and everything was really relaxed, so that's really nice.
Well, we'll wait on her score, the final finish rider, and where that will put them in the team standings, but you can see the smile, just how pleased she was with her performance and how much she enjoyed that. And what a lovely horse too, with his 4 white socks.
Yeah, he's really also, I mean, also all the horses from those grades, they do such a nice job, because they need to be happy and accept so many things. So also now we see them just walking and going through the test, but the preparation for it and the acceptance, really good.
Well, the score is 70.821 is the final score for Katja Kajalainen, and their score of 200.819 puts them above France, and they'll be pretty pleased with that, because they're above France and Italy in the final team standings here. Looking at that, they will go into a provisional 5th. That's obviously going to change with Germany and Belgium still to come, but all the same, they're ahead of France and Italy. Oh no, just behind actually Italy. The score has been readjusted. 201 was the final score for Italy, so they're just behind Italy in the team standings, who are in 4th. Finland into 5th with that score just above France on 200.813. So next up, coming in from Belgium, Eveline van Luveren, who scored 70.786 for the Belgian team. And Belgium, this is their final rider. They've had 2 riders with more than 70%, Siska Vermeulen and also Manon Claes, 73.150. So again, you would expect this to be another decent score.
Yeah, they have a quite steady team. They always have good placings and
haven't quite scored. They're not quite in the medal position, I don't think.
Yeah, that's what we were talking earlier. That's it. They always score over 70, but to get a medal, you really need to have at least 3 scores or over a score of 73.
Well, even if you think that Britain didn't get the medal, the gold medal, when they had a 77 and a 74, and okay, a 71, it just shows you where you have to be at now. 73 is almost the benchmark for for a gold medal, but
also when you come as a team and then you see that you can have a chance to score the overall team over 70 in our level, also it's really good.
Well, you can see what a warm day it is. Definitely Fileva is feeling the heat. But can Eveline, with this 8-year-old mare, a young horse.
She had a super entrance, really nice hold.
And you can hear music in the background. You're allowed to play music of your choice, although it's not specifically related to, unlike the freestyle.
Yeah, now we can put our own music on the team test. If you made it your own music. It doesn't change for the judges. The judges doesn't give any marks for this, but sometimes that relax also the horse and you're more confident. So shows that you are really together with your horse.
And would this horse music, is this likely to be the music she'll use tomorrow, or would it be something completely different?
No, completely different, because tomorrow they really will judge the music also and the choreography that she will do. So probably she will change.
And new music, it must be South American.
Yeah.
It'll be the sambo or something. Will it be?
Yeah, it will be. Will be.
Do you enjoy the freestyle? I think all riders seem to.
I love it. It's the test that I think we all love to ride this, because it's fun and you can put a little bit of your personality in the ring. So that's really nice.
I don't think you'll be holding back then.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a tough goal to win tomorrow, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but we believe ours.
Yeah,
it was already so close in the video, so yeah. We'll see tomorrow. She's producing a quite nice test. The horse could be a little bit more relaxed, and in the paces also we can see sometimes that go a little bit unsteady and a little bit stiff on the back like this when you walk. She keeps a good rhythm. She's in 4-beat walk, but could have a little bit more relaxation on the walk to get a higher mark.
The reason why I mentioned Italy was suddenly moved up to 4th. And Sarah, I think her score was raised up to 75.571. Hence the reason now that changed. And when I thought that France were ahead of Italy, but actually it's the change since they've done the provisional scoring. So just to confirm that as to why Italy now are in 4th, just ahead of the Finland, who got 208.819, but it still could change if there's any adjustments when they get because we tend to get the provisional and then there is a final score. All the marks in the low 7s.
Yeah, that to get a little bit more higher, because she's really precise in every moment. She knows where she's going, and that's really good. But the horse could be a little bit more relaxed to get a little bit more higher points.
And a little mini competition within the competition, not to be the discard score. Yeah.
Now she got a little bit better. There's a nice half circle. Lengthening, that's really good. As a teen, also it's nice to have a horse like this that always score on the 70s or over 70s, even if you know that some horses he's in the top of his score, but as a teen it's important to have a horse steady like this.
You know, a horse that can deliver, the steady Eddie sort of team member who will deliver good points, and clearly that is the case in
really nice horse
for Evelyn van Leeuweren's score with Verlever, and she looks pretty, but you can tell you how hot the horse is today. We'll be going down for a well-earned cool down, as indeed the rider will be, because wearing all this in these conditions.
Yeah, it's not always easy to prepare and know how they will be inside the ring with this heat and humidity. So sometimes you think that they will be a little bit tired after all these days here in the heat, and finally they're a bit more fresher, or the opposite. So it's not so easy when you go aboard like this with a different climb for the horses also. So
well, the score is 70.821, just confirming the score for Finland, and I just want to check whether that's made any difference to the final finish score, and that is the confirmed score of 70.821. No change there. But for Eveline, it's 70.857. 70.857. And again, very consistent scoring by the judges, but nothing.
They all agree, huh?
All agree, as you say, that just a smooth performance, just in the 70s. Not quite matching score of the other day, but in terms of the team, 214.891. So they do go above Italy, but it's close. Again, you know, they're less than 10 points behind the leaders at the end. You know, look at where's confirmation of that. You know, on 214.891 in the gold medal position, Netherlands with 223.597, Denmark and Belgium, Italy and Finland, but less than 10 points behind the leaders. So the margin's close. But next, your compatriot coming in. It is Vera Mazzilli. Although I've got a foot when on the starting list, it goes Vera Lucia Martins Mazzilli. So what do I call her? What do you call her?
Vera.
Vera. Right. We'll just call her Vera. Make it easy for me. And she is riding a 20-year-old Ballantine, scored 65.357. And tell me a little bit about her.
She's amazing. I must say, when I start in the para only 2 years ago, they were already there. And when I saw her first test, I was with my mom and we were crying because, you know, it's so emotional to see people who goes out of their home and be there, and she's always willing to go and doing things. She's an amazing person.
And her disability, what's wrong with her?
I'm not quite sure, but I think from the younger age. Vera now it's 67 years old, and she rides every day in Brasilia. She lives in Brazil, and Vera is really, she has her own horse in Brazil, and she's always want to be the best and do the best for us as a team. She's like always like, oh, I will do it for you, and so she's really nice person.
She's an inspiration.
Yeah, she's a really inspiration. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And presumably has helped you make the transition to para-dressage. You know, you've obviously over the last 2 or 3 years. Here she is coming in to the arena on board Ballantine, and
yeah, and Ballantine, he made the last, I think, 10 years. He made all the championships. Before he was owned by for a grade 4 now, my grade, from Norway, and after he went to Brazilian team, and he's also such a sweet horse.
Well, 2 riders have gone so far, and Rodolfo scoring 74. Were you happy with that? 74.650?
Yeah, really happy. Yeah, really happy.
And Marcus Fernandez Alves 65.636. So you'll be, you know, get a good score here. I mean, you might be sitting quite well up. What, inside the top 10? What's the aim? You'd be well up in the top 10, won't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's as a team, it's really good to help the team to get pushed on top. We finished 7th in the Paralympics, so it was really good. And now I hope they deliver something really nice.
Right. It's hard for you to commentate on your friend. Say nice things.
I will try to stay objective.
Very good. Yes, yes. But tell you what, Vera's very good at giving the judge a smile. Are you a smiler at the judges and say good morning?
Yeah, always. You know, there's also respect for them. They're there the whole day, sitting and judging and trying to do their best also for us. So when you come in and say good morning and with a smile, I mean, for them must be pleasant also. Well,
here we go. The third Brazilian rider. Coming down the center line, it is Vera Martins Mazzilli. at 67 years of age. And you can see how physically hard it is for her, yet the horse is oh so willing.
And she does such an effort to be there and deliver the best and be the most steady as possible and do everything as we want to see it. And the horse also, he's such a good boy and so amazing, you know.
You can't also stress how much the mental effort to do this as well, because if you're always physically battling a problem, then to be able to be 100% concentrated and be able to do this.
Yeah, but I think also in every grade and every disability that we have, we finish to, our bodies finish to figure out how to go better in one way or other to deliver the best. And of course we need to concentrate sometimes on some movements. And I know her that she is always delivering the best to be the better.
And just like you, you're, okay, sadly very new to the sport, but you're always now learning how to improve, whether the right equipment, just trying to make sure you can be able to do your sport as best you can given your disability.
Yeah, exactly. And we learn a lot when we see the others and we talk about and we see, okay, how we could do it. We did this a lot in the beginning and we always change something to see, oh, maybe this is better or this can work. And also everything needs to be allowed by FEI also, so that's really important.
Well, the marks are very much in keeping with what you would be expecting to score around about the mid-65s. So
it's almost the same score that she made the first day. To get a little bit higher, it's like the other ones, they could be a little bit more active and a little bit more steady on the contact. He looks a little bit open all the time, even he has a good wheeling position to know the nose is going a little bit forward, but they want to see also the horses walking through the back and steady and going through the contact. And there is we have a little bit lack of activity, so that's why the scores doesn't come up so much.
Yeah, 1 or 2 sub-6s being marked.
There was a quite good preparation, but the horse, it's all the time a little bit open, so that there he was a little bit open behind. He was not completely square. But she's doing quite a good job on the movements and turning and everything in the right place.
She's a Beatles fan.
Sorry?
She's a Beatles fan, the music.
Yeah. Yeah, there also we can see that it's a little bit lack of activity, and also the serpentine, she could have turn a little bit before to do 3 equal. Yeah, there you go. That's better. Because in the serpentine they want to see 3 equal loops. So there was a little bit, the first one was a little bit different than the second and from the third, so that goes marks a little bit low. So we can see there that she gets 6 for the serpentine. Yeah, there's coming a little bit lack of activity, so it gets a little bit hard for her, I think. But overall she's quite steady and good. Now she comes in the last center line. But I think in the end maybe she was a little bit tired because it was a little bit hard for her the last 2-3 movements.
Well, I think you can't. It's so hot here, and when this is draining physically and mentally.
A lot.
And you can see how hard whereas having to work here.
Yeah, but she's doing such a great job all those days, and it's such an effort to be here. But we are so happy to have her on the team.
Well,
such an inspiration, you know.
Well, great effort, and scoring probably in the low 60s, but clearly in these heat and the conditions, she's battling away. And 67 probably puts her probably one of the oldest competitors, if not the oldest competitor here this week. Not only in the para-dressage, but probably across all disciplines that have been contested here. So terrific.
This is the amazing part of our sport, even not only para, but everything. We have sometimes riders who goes riding in the big championships with almost 70s, and they still performing, so that's amazing.
Well, we'll wait on her score, the latest Brazilian riders. One more to come from Brazil. That will be in the second section of this grade 1. Sergio Ribeiro de Oliveira. You never have easy names, do you? You've got long names. You've got a very short one. You're easy.
It's because we always get the name from our mom and our dad, the family name for both. That's why it gets really long.
Okay, so, okay. How can we shorten it? That's why we see all the Brazilian footballers with just one name. Is
one
that
name,
right? Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So, presumably you're a football stroke soccer fan. I assume you must be. If you're a Brazilian.
Well, yeah, actually, we always see World Cup.
Well, we better see 62. The score, 0.607, and your Brazilian score on 140. And with you sitting there with a 74.65. That's a good score.
Yeah.
It's one of the best of the team competition.
Yeah, actually I saw this this morning, and I was quite pleased because we tried to deliver the best and work it out, so that's good.
Well, to use it, we can work it out, to use the Beatles frames, because obviously we just heard the Beatles music there. Anyway, we digress, because we are now getting very serious now, because this is Elke Philip coming in with Fürst Sinclair, because this is the performance that matters. I reckon she will need to score in excess of 74.207 to win bronze.
Quite high also. But she can do it.
She scored 73.143. So this
they can do it.
Is the ride that will determine the destiny of the bronze medal, and also the destiny of which team will be earning their place already to the Paralympics. Netherlands, Great Britain already assured, but will it be Denmark or Germany? And as I say, needs a score of 74.207.
Yeah, she has a super activity with the horse. He could be a little bit more steady on the contact.
Remind you, her score on Wednesday was 73.143 in securing the individual bronze medal.
Good vault. She keeps the rhythm.
And the scores are creeping up. There was a 7.6 for the...
The entrance was not so good, and the hold was not so square, so that cost a little bit points.
But the scores are going up.
Going up, yeah. Yeah, the horse has a really pleasant view, you know. When you see this, the horse is always willing to go, and really nice 4-beat walk. So with lots of ground covering. So that's a really good quality horse.
Well, there'll be lots of nail biting going on amongst the Danes and the German teams at this moment.
Yeah.
Wondering what's happening. They'll be looking at the score.
Oh, looking at it.
And they'll seeing that she's maybe just a little behind at the moment, 73. But it's a good test. Currently looking better than her test on Wednesday.
I haven't seen her Wednesday. I just saw the results because we were together with the Brazilians in the warm-up. But what we see now, that's a really nice test, and the horse, it's always willing to go, and even when she did the turns right and left, the horse keeps this nice rhythm. So that's really important. And it's going better now.
Tell you what, it's around about 74.2. This is tight.
Yeah, super hard. Perfect.
Perfect.
Really nice.
Maybe the best so far in the Grade 1.
Perfect horse. This nice preparation. The horse was really nice. Let's see what they score for it.
Sometimes they miss a beat. We don't get every score.
Yeah,
7.8.
8, yeah. Because sometimes also we have this view from letter C, just behind C, but also the other judges, they can see from the front, the judges in B and E. So that's why we have those variations also.
This is going to be oh so close. The best score so far in this test is 75.571, and it's not far off that.
Yeah. She's delivering a good test.
Is it a bronze medal winning test?
For the moment, yeah, for the moment, I see her a little bit better than the Danish rider, because it's a little bit more steady, a little bit more precise on the movements. Just final stretching.
And she's keeping it consistent and consistently high.
There he could keep a little bit more contact to be on the point, but it was still really good.
74.813 it's at the moment, and that is ahead of the 74.207. It is so tight.
Yeah, but it was a really nice test.
Coming down now for the final center line. Got to keep it together.
The final hold. Center line looks really good.
What about the holds? Coming forward.
Could be a little bit more square.
Just a little bit more square, maybe, but has she got that mark?
Really good test.
That puts her ahead of 74.207, I think, is what she needs to score. And the center line marks are all very respectable. And it's going to be an anxious few seconds wait for both Denmark and Germany. Well,
you see, with the final hold, she's stepping a little bit behind. She got 6 for the 6.
Is that costly?
Maybe 6.5. So they will be really tight.
Well, there's the reaction from Elke Philip as she comes out of the arena, and this will be the moment with Netherlands and Great Britain in the gold and silver, but the destiny of the bronze medal is about to be determined here. Here we go. The result is 74.357. I think she's done it. 74.357. A really good group of scorings, and I think just ahead of the 207 that was needed. The reaction from the German supporters down by the in-out gate suggests that they think they may have done it. It's a provisional score, bear in mind. And what's that done to the team? Well, it's 219.001. How close is that? Because it is so close. Here the team scores, look at that. 219.001 with Denmark agonizingly missing out by the narrowest of margins, really. 218.851. That is basically one hoof going in the wrong place, basically, something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so close. When you see scores like this, it's just like about one little mistakes here or there, but it's amazing, so close.
So close, and that across, of course, 3 riders, so the narrowest of margins. Intense competition. We're going to take a short break, but of course the main stories have been decided, but there's a pride now at stake for the remaining combinations that will begin in around about 20 minutes time, and amongst them, of course, another Brazilian rider will be coming in, and some of the other teams out to try and finish as high as possible. But what a competition for the medals it's been here in Tryon. Well, now we're getting ready for the final session in the team competition. Medals decided, but it's about pride. It's about trying to build confidence for the future. There we can confirm what the situation is in the team standings. Netherlands, Great Britain and Germany occupying the medal positions. And 223.597, so close behind Great Britain. Germany just inching ahead of Denmark with that last test before the break. Elke Philip putting Germany in the bronze medal position, 219.001, and that is 0.15 ahead of Denmark. So close, but less than 10 separating the top 5 points teams, which again is just an indication of the sustained quality across all the classifications here in the Para-Dressage competition. And delighted to say, still with me is Brazilian individual silver medalist Rodolfo Riscala is with me. Well, during that break, reflecting on it, how close, how dramatic, how good for the sport to see everything having to be determined by the narrowest of margins.
Yeah, I mean, it's so nice to see this, because we never know who will win and who will get a medal. So that gets so excited. Not that we came here and oh, okay, this nation or this nation will win. That makes really exciting and want to see everything.
Well, we start now with one of the Portuguese riders. It's Jose Neves, 45-year-old. He's riding Vendetto C and for Portugal. And this is a 16-year-old, chestnut gelding. And Portugal, it's been quite tough work. They've got a small team, just 3 riders in their team. And confirming what they've done so far. Still got but 2 to go. In fact, the last rider will be a Portuguese rider. But we're off and running, and Jose Augusto Neves trying to... We've had the one rider, Inés Teixeira, scored 60.941. How's my pronunciation of these Portuguese?
Yeah, that was quite good.
Quite good, quite good. Because obviously you should be able to talk to these Portuguese riders. But obviously, see the arena. There are 2 tractors that go around in the interval, and they look like they're in a NASCAR race. They go around very quickly preparing the arena.
Yeah, they're amazing. They come with 3 tractors, and in 5 minutes everything is done. It's so good.
And with precision. And there it is, looking pristine for the final few riders. We've just got 6 riders still to go.
Yeah, this rider, I think the horse is quite pleased. The problem is also the precision, since now of the movements, and he could be a little bit more relaxed, the horse. He's a little bit unsteady in each movement, so that costs a lot of points normally. So it's not all the time as when we see Sarah or Elke riding, they all the time the same rhythm, same 4 beats, and here we can see lots of variation. Once it's shorter and then he gets wider again. So the best is when we see always the same rhythm. But the horse is quite pleasant when we see he walking. He's still 4 beats all the time, so this is really important.
One more American rider still to come as well, and they'll be looking for another good score, which they could be getting. So
there he could be a little bit also keep the rhythm each time that he goes into a difficulty in this test. There's the small circles. He could keep a little bit more together with the horse. But that's a lot of concentration remaining to do all those things. bit against the bit. We could see the horse going a little bit, open the mouth and going a little bit against the bit, and he could prepare a little bit more the hold. The horse is quite obedient, so also that counts.
All low sixes, the marks, which is, I suppose, reflects where he was before.
Yeah, comes a lot of those instabilities on the test. There also the loops are not quite well presented. They could be, they asked for 3 equal loops, then we could see again and they were not quite equal. Last one was a little bit bigger than the other ones. So there he gets a little bit more relaxed. Also, I think when they get there is a big competition and it's not for everyone to get in this big ring and deliver it like 100% calm. So also that plays a lot when you get in the, you need to get used also to this big stadium and all of this, and it's also, it's a world championships, and when you ride there, it's quite something.
Talking to Natasha, she said that this was a very intimate arena. She enjoyed competing because it's a beautiful arena, but it felt smaller than it actually is when you're inside. What do you, I mean, you've ridden all kinds of arenas. How is it a fun arena to ride in, the way it's set up and what it feels like?
I must say, I love it to ride here. Because I thought it was prettier and much more intimate arena than the bigger one, right? So I love it to ride here, and also it's quite nice for the horses. They don't have a lot to see it, so that it's quite good.
Well, our first of the final 6 riders has completed, and that is Jose Neves completing his Grade 1. One more Portuguese rider to come will be the last, and that will be Ana Veiga with her 11-year-old grey. That will be the final. That'll be in around about 40 minutes time to draw this competition to a close, and then we have one more day of para-dressage here in Tryon. Been fantastic 4 days so far, high quality competition, and then it's now the turn, will be tomorrow, of the music. And as we look at just a few moments from Jose's test as he leaves the arena, we'll get his score in a moment. So between now and tomorrow, I mean, you've done all your preparations. Will you ride the horse again, or are you, what's your plan?
Yes, actually it was quite good that we always have 1 day break, but today he was still so fresh and he's such a nice mood those days, so that is perfect, and he's not so tired, so I could practice a little bit my freestyle again, and he's fit for tomorrow.
60.643 the score for Jose. That's currently the least good score in this particular grade, but confirming that they're on 121.584 as a 3-rider team. So a struggle for the Portuguese and Hong Kong, probably the 2 teams who've found it more difficult here this week. But it's experience, it's knowing what you've got to do. If you're not in, you can't win and you can't learn. I think that's half the battle, isn't it?
I think how much more we do and better we get, and be in those kind of competitions is important also.
And how much, when we look at Japan here this week, obviously that's where you and others will be heading in the due course for the Paralympics. How much has the Paralympics in Rio helped you and the profile of the sport in your country, in enabling the sport to continue and flourish?
Yeah, I mean, just after the Rio, they could keep quite a legacy, and especially for Paralympics, because many people didn't know that we have so many sports, and when you have a problem, you could keep going and do another sport. So it was really good. Now the legacy starts to get a little bit away. It's 2 years now so it's a little bit hard for our country, but still, I mean, it's so nice to have those kind of competitions in your home country.
And I have to say, the Paralympics was a rip-roaring success, wasn't it? I mean, the crowds you got there surprised a lot of people too. It was a really positive experience.
Yeah, it was amazing. For me, it was my first big championships at Para, and my first Paralympic, and it was so nice. We have quite crowd in the first day, and gets more people, and it was it was really much fun and really nice for the sport.
And I see you got a good tattoo that says Rio 2016 on your arm, so I think you competed there. But never forget
it was really important.
Yeah, very important. It was, for all sorts of reasons, very important for you. And so now from Canada, Winona Hart-Vixen. There's quite a sort of battle for sort of positions in the top 10, sort of outside the medal area. United States, Canada, your own country, Brazil. Where you're going to finish in the top 10? Anything in the 200s is going to feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Everybody's really close together, so that's.
I haven't got the scores from the previous.
Really nice halt in the entrance.
So here comes Winona. Ultima is the horse that she's riding. A striking grey. 69.893, finishing 10th in the individual. Still not good enough to get into the freestyle. That again shows you the quality of the Grade 1 riders here this week.
Yeah, everything comes so close, even to us to get in the finals, because only 8 goes into the finals for each grade. So everything counts.
And obviously, a couple of one notable absentee from the freestyles. So Lee Pearson's not in, having retired early on. Something is a surprise, and not sure. I mean, it's so hard.
And that's also about horses. It's not only about you. We never know what can happen. So that's why we always need to keep up and try our best until the end.
So round about the 70.
Yeah, a quite good horse. He's always steady. He could have a bit more ground cover, but he's always on the bit and is in a good position and willing to go. We see that he's not discussion on the rhythm, and she's always together with the horse. He could be a little bit more relaxed on the back, then he could walk a little bit better. But also for the Spanish horses, Spanish horses and Lusitanos, there's such a nice breed of horses. Also for the character, you can go almost everywhere. Then they're always so calm, and I mean, for those grades also who needs a horse who cope with a bigger disability, that's a really advantage.
How easy is it for you to find the right horse?
It's not always easy. I got so much lucky that my horse is owned by Gertrude Schaffhoff von Ann-Kathrin Lisenhoff and Klaus Martin Hart, and they were absolutely amazing to give me the ride on the horse. So without a horse we cannot do anything.
Into the halt.
Really nice halt.
I bet they're pleased with your silver medal, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really happy. Unfortunately, they could not be here, but they are really happy. Right away, got on the phone, and they were very pleased. See, there he's quite nice. She's really precise on the movement and really steady, but they cannot give much higher marks because of the quality also of the walk. It could be a little bit more fluent and a bit more ground cover to get higher points. But she's doing a great job. there you could see a little bit more relaxation also in this walk. Now he's stretching. He's going to the beat, so that's really good. That's what judges want to see when it goes stretching, that the horse goes, take nose in front and take in the bit. It looks really calm and really together, so that's also really important. It's a nice combination.
Coming down the centre line to end her test, the penultimate Canadian rider, Jodie Schloss, still to come, but coming down to halt.
A really nice halt.
That was a good halt. So good end. So not a bad score there for the Canadian. Winona Hartvigsen with Ultimo, and round about the 70% mark, which is in keeping with what she scored on Wednesday. As she comes out of the arena, and can confirm that Jose Neves' score is 60.643. But from a Canadian perspective, what's this going to do to their overall standings?
Yeah, they're quite steady on the results, right?
I'm just looking down to see what they've had so far. Well, we've had two, a 63, a 68 from Lauren Barwick, and Jodie Schloss scored a 66. So steady, sort of high 60s. Yeah. It's not going to be one that's going to give you a medal, but you need, as Rodolfo is saying, to have plenty of performances in the mid to high 70s if you're going to medal now. And a big wave to the Canadians contingent in the crowd. You can see the American flag being waved towards Winona, and next in, sure we'll see some American flags being displayed. But here's a scoring of 70 exactly, 70% exactly. So, and giving the thumbs up as she comes out, 70.000 exactly across the scores. 67, a little less generous, but still a 6th place on the standings in the class. And from a team point of view, it's the best score so far for the Canadians, and puts them on 138.912 with one more rider to go. So it looks as if they'll be heading into the 200s. Definitely will be heading into the 200s, barring a real setback.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, the best is to get in the final 10, because with all those teams we're so close together. So I think it's so important to get everybody.
Right, well, now from America, we'll obviously again be looking to get well up the leaderboard, and I know every single one of the American team so delighted to be competing here. Best score for them was Rebecca Hart, 72.676. The discard score at the moment is Angela Peavy with 67.075, and the fact that Roxanne only finished 5th with a score of 72.143 again indicates how tough the competition is. And
and I mean, it must be, I had this feeling at the Paralympics, and ride those kind of championships in your home country is really nice, because you have the crowd and your home, and that's really nice.
Real buzz, and they've been so excited about staging it here and being part of the World Equestrian Games experience, but now they want to finish on a really positive note. And after 2 riders with a score of 142, so they'll be looking for somewhere in the region of the 210 mark maybe at the end. But let's see what Roxanne can do here. as they come down to begin their test. The horse and is just a 6-year-old. So
that's quite young.
Well, I'm told that's the youngest age you can have in an FEI competition, but actually riding a 6-year-old in grade 1 when it probably has a little bit of exuberance of youth.
Yeah,
it's a real testament to the skill of the rider.
Yeah, it's what we said earlier also, how much more experience the horse and rider have together, better points they can get. And for such a young horse, it's not always easy to keep this calm. So, I mean, it's really nice to see that they have these here. And such a young horse can cope with all this. Huh?
And there's a lot going on, and forget what's going on around here.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole site. I mean, there are horses.
So we have the jumping behind, and actually, when you're in the ring, we can hear when we have clapping and things like this. We can hear also from our stage. So sometimes the horse can
slightly spook.
Can be, yeah. The horse is really pleased.
Oops.
Oh, I think she made a mistake in.
Oh no.
The traject, yeah. She should turn right, vault right, and then turn left. And she just made her vault to the left. And then it will cost a lot of points now.
2 points?
Yeah, 2 points in the 5 for each judge. The horse is really nice horse, super walk. It's a little bit unsteady at the time.
Well, that will feel absolutely dispiriting for Roxanne.
But you can see that it's a really nice activity. The horse goes through the bit and has nice walk. Nice activity on the walk. Here we can see he goes really through the bait.
Plenty of good marks she's getting. That is just
because the horse there you could see that this kind of activity and the horse willing to go and flexible. That's what they want to see it. Now to get a little bit more higher, she could get a little bit more precision on the movement and more steady. But okay, it's such a young horse, huh? So it's so great to see this. I see the hold, how she prepared. It's a quite good hold. There's a little bit against the bit. In the moment of the preparation, we could see when she prepared the hold, her horse was going against the bit a little bit.
It was unfortunately where you did that, describe that, it would have been very good to have the camera on your face, because it was a wonderful example of exactly, you could tell exactly what you mean. There was a bit of resistance, and just not quite getting it right.
Because you know
we needed a webcam on you there.
We used to each time to try to imitate the movement to see if everybody feels the same. Huh? But it's a really pleasant horse, I must say. They looks really nice together.
Well, there's lots of good marks. She will be so upset that had that little error.
Yeah, because you see when he's stretching, he just opened the fingers and the horse goes through and goes to the bit, and we see how relaxed he is. So maybe it was.
No, this is exciting. Well, whatever. If she can just put that behind her, this is a 6. Remember, this is a 6-year-old. Yeah. This horse can only get better. This is an exciting prospect for 2 years down the line.
No, really top horse.
So exciting times. Maybe the disappointment of that error early on but now coming down the centre line, plenty of good marks. Some of the best marks we're seeing, you know, 7.7s for the transitions. And it's still going to be a good score, but it's a question of what might have been. But to the hold it. Oh, couldn't.
Could stay.
Got there in the end.
Quiet, yeah. But it's a really nice combination. I think for the Paralympics, there will be a really nice. In 2 years' time, really good.
Well, so one for the future, but still a little bit wobbly, 6.6, but overall a good score. But obviously there was a costly mistake. Not too many errors on course we've had, but that was one. And I think that's why you can always see there's a little bit of a going, oh, why did I do that sort of feeling from her. But overall, an excellent test from the American rider, Roxanne Trinell, and scoring, I hope, well for her, a score for the Americans, and could have been the best of their quartet, and might still be. Remember, Rebecca Hart had a score of 72.676, but it's likely to be around about that as she comes out of the arena. And just reflecting on that, and what's it going to do to the final American score, as out the arena they go for the scores. Just now 3 more to go. Next will be the final member of Rodolfo's team from Brazil, and actually a rider who could give you a good position along with your 74 and 71, 72.
Yeah, he can have a good chance because he's a bronze medalist in Rio. So he spent 2 months in France now training the horse, so he can get a nice result.
So here we get the provisional score of 72.376. Not quite the best score for America, but that is the one that what might have been, I think.
Yeah.
So there's looking at the scores. There was a 74 then from the judge at B, and a 70 at E, but a 72.376 plus that error. And for America, it puts them into 6th spot provisionally, 214.852. Again, right up there, and not that far behind our leaders, less than 10 points behind the leaders. It shows now the quality, the strength in depth of where the teams are now. The margins are getting narrower and narrower, and it suggests now there are more countries coming into the mix with regard to medals. And your own country, Brazil, is in that equation. And as you say, we have a medalist here. And tell me a little bit about him in terms of as an individual, from a riding point of view, and what he has to battle with.
Yeah, now I know that Sergio, he lives in Brazil, and he came for prepare the games here. He's in Europe, I think 2 or 3 months now, to prepare the games. He was really concentrated on it. And sometimes for us, it's I live in Europe, but sometimes when you live so far away, it's hard to get in the middle of the stage and be in the big competitions. And he made such an effort to be there and train others. So that's really important also.
And it's not straightforward, is it? I mean, when you're competing at Para-Dressage, the infrastructure that you need to support you...
Yeah, it's not always easy because sometimes we need help in the everyday life. And it's not only one rider goes and take the horse, and it's everything together. So it's really important to have a good team. And he has a super team that supports him. Nicolas Comange, he's the trainer, his trainer in France. He takes care of the horse. So, I mean, it's really important to have this kind of team spirit for a good result.
Well, he's riding the horse Coco Chanel. I suppose it's appropriate. He's based in France, riding Coco Chanel. Wasn't she from France in the day?
The mare lives in France. And Sergio has another horse in Brazil who he trains every day.
Well, let's see what he can do for your team.
A really nice entrance with a good hold. She has a super walk, this mare.
Can see.
Sometimes she could be a little bit more steady on the contact, but she has a super walk. That looks really good. It's much more steady than in the individual test.
How are the marks looking? Around about the 70s, aren't they?
Yeah. She could be a little bit more through and a little bit more relaxed to get on the 7.5 or the 8. But it's still a pleasant test, and he's much better than the individual test. So that's a good point.
You're riding every step of the way here.
Yeah.
I can see that.
We are always cheering.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you know the person who's riding, and then you know how much effort we made for be there, so you're always like, okay, come on.
Go on, Sergio. That's plenty good marks.
Yeah, he's getting higher now, so that's good. Just preparing the hold. Quite good hold. Square. Could be a little bit more steady on the contact. You can see that the mare is always a little bit disgusting, a little bit on the bit, but it's still a good hold and good transitions also. That is important when you see just not the square hold. Sometimes you see, the mark was not so good, but it was super square hold, but the transitions were not good enough. That's also, the judges see this, the quality of the transitions and the preparation of the movement.
Disappointing for Sergio, just missed out on being in the freestyle, even though he scored 70.036.
Yeah, he was so sad. Could keep a little bit more the fluency on the walk, and we could see that last loop was not so quite well executed, but it looks much more relaxed than in the first day, so that's really nice.
Didn't expect him to be a Roxette fan, though, playing the music in the background. It could have been me, or whatever the full proper title of the song is.
Good, looks good. Lengthening of the steps. There was a little bit hesitation in the middle.
Still over 70% scoring.
Over 70. It's a nice result. It's a good result for us as a team. For him also.
Well, the rider into the 70s, there'll be two of you.
Yeah.
Trying to work out where you've come in the overall team standings with the 74 if you look across the whole. But Sergio coming down for the final. Is he keeping it together down the centre?
A little bit more straight.
Yep.
Going a little bit away from the center line, but it's still a nice hold. Yeah, it's a much better test than he made as an individual.
Well, that's going to do your team standings a power of good. Had you got a target before? What were you thinking? Obviously.
Yeah, we thought, okay, if Sergio was keeping the good score as he did in Rio, and then maybe we could get, let us say, between also 5 and 8. I think it'd be the good target. Of course, that we always want more, but if we could keep in between those would be great.
Well, looks. I think you might be on for that.
Yeah.
If you think, look at that, yes, it should be. Well, currently in 8th are Finland, although obviously we've got a little bit of permutations with Canada still to resolve, but you may be on course for that, which would be so in line with what the team had. The higher the better. But
and I mean, for us it's good because now with the new system of qualification for Tokyo, we need to get a better team and do more results now next year if we want to qualify as
because it's going to be
as a
3
team.
counting riders now next year, isn't it? It's going to be slightly different. You're going to have a 3 rider team and all 3 will count.
Yeah,
drop
exactly.
Scores.
Yeah.
Although there will be, you can have 4 riders, 1 competing as an individual.
Exactly, yeah.
So we're waiting on that score, and then I'm sure Sergio will be Rodolfo will be keeping an eagle eye on the scoreboard as to what it means in terms of the team standings, and I think likely to finish ahead of Canada, but we're up the United States currently in 6th spot with their score of 214, point 852, as we wait on the score, and really compacted leaderboard, less than 10 separating. So here we go, ready for those scores, and scoring 70.786. 70.786, happy?
Good score, yeah, we're happy. And it's a good score for the team and good for Sergio, so it's perfect.
And so that's the score, and there's just confirmation on the screen. Sergio Oliva scoring 70.786, pretty even marks across the board, from a 72 down to a 68. Team result 211.072 into 7th.
Yeah.
Of course, you always
we want always more. Huh?
You always want more. It was a sort of. It was a sort of. Okay.
Yeah, but okay. I mean, that's what we spoke earlier. Also, when we need to have a steady team, and most of the riders get around the 70s. And for us, it was a little bit harder. We didn't have a 3rd horse going around the 70s. But okay, I mean, we are here as a team, and it's really nice to participate of those championships as a team. So that's really important.
Well, you're ahead of Italy, and so just 2 more riders to go then on this 4th day of Para-Dressage competition, and then tomorrow we have 5 classes with medals at stake in the freestyle. So it will be an entertaining and fun-packed day, a long day as well of Para-Dressage to draw the Para-Dressage phase of the World Equestrian Games to a conclusion. But now off and running is Jody Schloss of Canada, scored 66.893 with this 14-year-old gelding.
Yeah, she entered quite well, just a little bit beside the center line, so I guess that, yeah, that cost her a little bit points already. But the horse looks really steady. It's a nice walk. It could be a little bit more ground covering.
Canada sort of scoring around about the 70 and under mark with their riders. You'd expect this not to be the drop score.
Yeah, there he could be a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more ground cover, so he could go a little more through the beat. But it's still a nice walk, 4 beat, and that's really important. The rhythm, the first step, that is really important to be in 4 beat. Looks quite relaxed. He could be a little bit more rounder. Sometimes looks a little bit against.
One or 2 marks in the 7 areas.
Yeah, sometimes we can see a little bit of hesitation on the movements when turn right and turn left. That's the difficulty of this test, when they need to change the balance to the right and to the left, and it's not just about turning, also it's the whole body changing the balance. The transition is not too bad, but the horse was not square.
And she has got help of someone in the corner shouting out instructions, as you not just, you see maybe just here in the corner there, just to the left of your screen.
Yeah, because she can tell her the test for those grades. So there's allowed that she can say the test to the rider. Yeah, there also the serpentine was not quite well executed. She could had more equal loops. But the horse still really steady horse. So that's for this grade, it's really important.
The score very much in line with what you would expect her to be scoring.
Yeah. There's a little bit of hesitation. We can see that when she wants to lengthening, the horse is not going really through the beat. He stays in this same position.
Lieutenant Lobin, the name of the horse. Or Lieutenant, as it's from North America. Lieutenant from North America. So centre line time towards the end of the test. The odd little mistake creeping in towards the end. But it's the penultimate rider walking down for the final time down the centre line in the team competition. Not quite straight.
The halt could be a little bit more square. You could see that it was a little bit crooked. But in general, it was a quite a steady test. We cannot say that it's something really missing, but it could be a little bit more relaxed to get more points.
Well, we've seen the best of the Grade 1 riders already in good competition. It was a lot at stake today for Elke Philip and Lina Madsen of Germany and Denmark, and it was the performance of Elke Philip that got Germany over the line to a bronze medal. But here, just watching Jody Schloss finish her test as she leaves the arena with just the one more to come. And what a competition to see all these nations so close at the top. A narrow margin between the first and second. Little bit of a gap, not much, but then that 1.15 margin from the Germans to the Danes. As the provisional scores come through for Jody Schloss, with Lieutenant Lobin, 66.786 is her final score for Canada. And I'm sure she'll be pleased with that. Just slightly under what she achieved on Wednesday, but all the same, a consistent performance in these hot temperatures today. And from a team perspective, their final score, they go behind Roberto's team in 8th spot, 205.698. Needing a performance, as we keep reiterating, you need that 73s and 74s, but all the same, a consistent team performance. There's the individual standings in this test so far, with one to go. Sarah Morganti once again top of the tree, Elke Philip, and also Lina Madsen in 3rd spot. And tell you what, the one probably who is still ruining what happened is Roxanne Trinell, who could have done much better having had that error on course, and could have been near.
Yeah, but again, I mean, they're so I don't know if maybe it's their first championships together, and the horse is young and also have this pressure to be in your home country and all this. So.
Well, there is the team standings, and obviously you've. Just to see where it is. I'm not sure why they haven't put your team in there at the moment. Well, they haven't added your score together.
Yes, one score missing.
but it will get there. Unless there's something happened that I don't know about and we haven't been told, but I'm sure they will sort that out because Brazil at the moment sitting in, well, it hasn't adjusted on the computer here either, so in front of me, but I'm sure they will sort that out in due course. But it's been a great day's competition, and we can look forward to tomorrow. I think it's going to be hard fought. Every single medal is not going to be easily won. The Dutch have been dominant so far. This will be their third gold medal, and Great Britain have just the one gold medal to show for their efforts. Sophie Wells. Denmark have picked up a gold medal and a bronze medal, but no team medal. Germany, a couple of bronze medals now, team and individual. And obviously Brazil with a silver medal. The man to my right in our commentary position. He'll be hoping that he can go one better tomorrow with his samba-inspired music.
I hope so.
Now, a serious point. I mean, you are new to the sport, and obviously with the fact that you're an amputee from below the knee, getting the right equipment for all riders, how much of a part of that is you needing the equipment, and have you had to sort of develop to find the kind of things that enable you, and clearly to be able to produce the kind of results you've done this week?
It's really important. I mean, I learned a lot those last years because you adapt to yourself and you adapt the material. So it's really important to see what you're allowed to do it and how you can help your body to ride as normal as possible. I know by myself that I have my stirrups magnetic, so I cannot lose because I don't feel it. So if they're there or not, so that's it's something different. My prostheses, I have special prostheses to ride, and of course the reins. I have buckle reins because I don't have fingers in my hand. So I ride with the wrist, and so, but the feeling afterwards, you get used to it, so that's quite
and
easy.
You adapted something as well, the way we were noticing yesterday with Natasha around the reins areas. Is it to put something, a little bit of equipment?
Yeah, actually it's just a buckler rein, like a hunter rein, that I just put my hand on and then I hold with the wrist, and my whip. I have, like for child, that they have a little loop that I cannot lose it, the whip, because each time that I need to change the size of the rein, I need to put my hand off and hand on. So each time I was losing a little bit the whip and all this, and my left hand I can hold the whip actually, but I have only those 3 little fingers, so sometimes they can lose it.
Yeah.
So then, we adapt and then it works.
Well, and obviously, it's all, it's an evolving, and that's helped you, no doubt, produce the kind of performances that you are now. So, I mean, from that perspective.
As long as you adapt yourself, and that's amazing of our sport. That's like I'm allowed to ride able body also, and that I do with my horse. And that's so nice because when you go to the shows, most of the time you cannot see it, that it's something different. They need to look twice and say, oh, there is something wrong. There's something different, but looks the same. So that's amazing.
Wrong's not the right way of describing it. Different is the better way, isn't it?
Yeah, different.
And certainly now the final rider coming in to round off. And a nice bit of music here to end. Ana Veiga from Portugal, and Mac the Knife music coming in to end proceedings. Scored 67.857 with this 11-year-old horse. And rounding off for Portugal, and indeed the entire team competition. There will be a medal ceremony after this as well. But a big moment with the fact that for the first time in the World Equestrian Games, the gold medal will be handed out to 4 riders from the Netherlands.
Yeah, there you can see a horse that is a nice walk, good ground cover, but he could be a little bit more relaxed on the back, and we can see that sometimes she's always like working that he stays a little bit with her. Huh? Now it starts to get a little bit more relaxed, but he could see, we can see that sometimes the nose from the horse goes a little bit behind the vertical. So that means that he's not pushing enough from behind, not going really through the beat. That was really straight, nice. There he was a little bit better. He becomes a little bit more relaxed. But it's a nice 4-beat rhythm, so that's really good.
And the marks again very much reflecting the consistency around about the mid to high 6s.
Yeah, to get a little bit more points, they could be a little bit more relaxed, because the horse, it has a nice walk. It's a really nice walk, but he could be a little bit more over the back.
Into the halt.
Yeah, this is not square, and then he moves a little bit. There he looks a little bit better. But again, the loops from the serpentine, they looks not quite equal. So that will cost a little bit points. But it's a nice walk. And also we can see that she's working a lot to get in there, and she keeps working so the horse keeps with her. So it could be a little bit more relaxed to get more points. That's quite good. He's a little bit of hesitation in the middle. He started well and then he comes a little bit back. Now it's better. Quite straight final center line. This looks good.
Keeping it together. And here comes our final rider to finish. Anna FEI finishes, and that concludes the team competition. Tough work, but she's completed and will produce the best score on behalf of the 3-rider Portuguese team. And Roxanne Trinell's score has been confirmed as 72.464. And the United States in 5th, Belgium 6th, and then it is Brazil in 7th. So a good performance from the Brazilians. Rodolfo, many thanks for your company up here.
Thanks to you.
Have you enjoyed it? And now, what was your routine between now and tomorrow morning when you're competing?
Now we have the second hard vet inspection before tomorrow, and then hotel, good sleep, and be fit for tomorrow.
And then nail it tomorrow and get another medal. Hopefully a golden one. But certainly, I mean, if you look at this competition, looking with the Netherlands winning, that's good for the sport, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing for the sport because we see that the level is getting higher and the horses are getting better and everybody's close together.
Well, 66.464 is the final score for our last competitor, and it has meant that there is confirmation, very consistent scoring, all in the 66s. Now that is what you like to see.
All of them place her in 10, so that's
right. So in 10th on the individual, as far as the Portuguese team standings is concerned, they are finishing on a score of 188.048. Always a bit of a struggle with not finding those marks in the 70s, but it's experience, and with a 3-rider team always going to be more of a struggle. But of course that's where it's going to be in 2 years' time. But now we confirm that the 1, 2, 3, Netherlands, Great Britain, Germany, not much separating gold and silver. Barely a hoof print out of place. Means Germany are the bronze medalist ahead of Denmark. United States, well, even with the error for Roxanne at the end, it probably wouldn't have been good enough to get them higher than 5th. Belgium in 6th, Brazil in 7th, Canada 8th, 9 for Italy and 10 for Finland. So it has been terrific. Rodolfo has been terrific too, joining us for this Grade 1 competition. And there is the full order. And then we'll just confirm how it's gone in the individual aspect of this final grade, with Sarah Morganti once again on top. Looking tomorrow, she will be for a 2nd gold medal with Royal Delight, 75.571. Elke Philip in 2nd, and then in 3rd spot is Lina Madsen. No medals in this particular individual phase, but there will be tomorrow. And there will be all to play for, and really will be an enjoyable. There will be the first session after lunch tomorrow, the Grade 1, and we'll end with the Grade 3. It's 5 and 4. Were you 1st or 2nd in the morning grade? Which one are you?
I think my grade is the first one in the morning. It starts 9:30.
9:30, yeah. And you won't know your draw just yet. So do you know your draw or not?
Not yet.
Oh, got to pass the inspection.
I know that it'll be 5.
Well, Rodolfo, many thank you for your company, and well done earlier in the week. And look forward to watching you tomorrow. I'll be nice to you.
Thank you.
But we're going to be back shortly for the medal ceremony, where we will see for the first time the Dutch receive the team medal at the World Equestrian Games. Well, now we get ready for the medal ceremony. The medalists coming into this Tryon Stadium arena, and what a spectacular, wonderful moment for the Netherlands as they will be celebrating a gold medal triumph here in this arena. A consistent team performance, some outstanding team riding and individual performances. The strength in depth is the reason why they've been able to stop Great Britain winning the medal again. But it was hard fought, it was close. The battle for bronze was equally as close between Germany and Denmark. But it shows that the standard this week is as strong as it has ever been. The 4 Dutch riders coming in. Now you can see the Union Jacks as well, the Union flags, Great Britain, there's German flags and Dutch flags, all near the, facing the podium as the athletes come forward, ready to mount the podium. The 4 Dutch riders, Frank Hosma, Nicole den Dulk, Sanne Weerts and Rikst van der Horst, celebrating. And very much as Rodolfo Rixala was saying, the discard score 72.939. That just shows you how strong they were across the board. For Great Britain, it was a great start by Sophie Wells with a personal best, 77.233. Natasha Baker with her new horse, a personal best, 74.118. Lee Pearson recovering after the disappointment of retiring first up with a 71.606, and frustration for Erin Orford. She couldn't produce that magical test that would have prevented the Dutch from winning the medal for the first time. Germany, though, again, a consistent team performance across the 4, with Elke Philipp this afternoon producing the star bronze winning effort on Fürst Sinclair with 74.357. Here come the medalists moving forward, ready to receive their medals from. Here we go now with, it is Ingmar de Vos, the president of the FEI, who will be doing the medal honors. Juan Carlos Capelli of Longines also on hand to present the watches. And then Alan Mann of Adecan and Michael Stone, president of the organizing committee, also on hand in the presentation party. First up, the bronze medalist. First up, the bronze medalists are Regine Mispelkamp, who a medal earlier in the week with a bronze, 72.791. Coming forward also, Stefan Zeibig on the right of your picture. Then Angelique Trabert on the left. Elke Philipp just to the right of her. Coming forward with a score of 219.001. But in silver medal, it is the team from Great Britain. Well, it was bound to happen sometime. This unbeaten run was bound to end. But for these 4, sadly, they are the ones, but they are still going home with a silver medal. And they are Erin Orford, Natasha Baker, Lee Pearson and Sophie Wells. But the gold medalists coming forward, what a performance. Thoroughly deserved. They were dominant in the individual, and they've continued that dominance, and they'll be looking to maintain it again as they come forward. Frank Hosma, Nicole den Dulk, Sanne Weerts and Rikst van der Horst moving onto the gold medal podium. What a moment for them as they enjoy this great success. And stepping forward now Ingmar de Vos to present the medals. First to the bronze medalists, Angelique Trambert receiving her medal. The 50-year-old who's been competing at so many. Then the star turn, Elke Philip. She was brilliant today, and it was her performance that sealed the bronze. Regine Mispelkamp, and the final one, Stefan Zeibig, receiving his bronze medal. The drop score was Angelique Trabert, but still all scores in the 70s. Over now to the silver medalists. First up, Natasha Baker with a personal best for her today with a 74.118. Lee Pearson, well, he was disappointed on Tuesday, but he recovered with a 71.606, but he becomes the most decorated para-dressage rider in the World Equestrian Games with his silver medal. Then Sophie Wells, another medal for her with this silver medal. And again, she'll be hoping to add to that. And Erin Orford with a silver medal, but she'll be feeling a little bit dejected, particularly after what happened on Tuesday, on Wednesday rather. But now the turn of the Dutch to receive their medals, as they receive with Rix van der Sannewerts, Nicole Dendulk and Frank Hosmar. Fabulous achievement from all three, that they were able to dominate and enjoy this golden moment here in the Tryon Stadium. And finally, Frank Hosmar with 73.488. There they are. Now it is time for the... Now coming forward is Alan Mann and Michael Stone to congratulate the various teams. Michael Stone, president of the organising committee here in Tryon for these World Equestrian Games 2018. It's obviously been only 2 years to get Tryon ready, but from a sporting perspective, it's been an absolute triumph with some wonderful competition across all disciplines, and the para-dressage has not disappointed. Alan Mann from the sponsors Adican, and just congratulating Lee Pearson, and what an effort from them, and the way they get their silver. It's a second silver for Natasha Baker. And finally, the bouquet of flowers, a very large bouquet of, well, 4 bouquets of flowers to the individuals concerned. Here, there is Michael Stone. And in the background, the watch is ready to be presented. And now stepping and stepping forward now to present the watches. So the 4 bronze medalists receiving their watches, and also one for the chef de keep as well. And now the watches for the silver medalists. Sophie Wells getting her second watch of the week. The Dutch are also getting heaven laden with the Longines watches. Lee Pearson not well, and then finally getting it. I'm sure he's going to enjoy receiving that, and Natasha Baker getting her second Longines watch of the week. But this Dutch team also, every single one of them has already received one, but they thoroughly deserve to receive their second. It's been a joy to watch them in action, and of course they'll be hoping for more success on Saturday when we have 5 freestyle gold medals up for grabs here in the stadium to bring this thrilling week of para-dressage to a conclusion. Will be an entertaining day's action here in Carolina. So just a few photographs being taken. And now the formalities have been concluded in terms of presentation. Now it's time for the national anthem of the Netherlands. The Netherlands flag flying proudly over the Tryon Stadium arena. The medal ceremony concluded. We'll be back for a final day's competition, thoroughly deserved by the team from the Netherlands, and we look forward to the action tomorrow. But will it be more gold success for the Dutch? There's every chance that it could be, because they've got some very powerful combinations. Should be very entertaining indeed. But the medal ceremony is drawing to a conclusion. Day 4 of the para-dressage is also drawing to a conclusion. I do hope you can join us on Saturday for the final day, starting at 9:30 here in Carolina for the first of the 5 classifications, going in search of gold. What a way, what a triumph, and what a day for the sport.